Stoltzfus. We are sitting down here with Dr. Jack talking about his book, The Parents Launch Code. And so thank you again for being here with us. So we'll continue the conversation of from the parent side. You work with the parents on how to let go, but also to keep that relationship. And I think, you know, it's just a constant battle for parents in our minds of, are we supporting enough? Are we being too easy? Where's that line?
Sure.
And so you've kind of got some guidance there.
Sure. You know, I think parents need to understand no's not a four-letter word. They need to be firm at certain times. And probably the biggest challenge that I think parents face is, how do I balance that off? I want to not be too supportive.
Right.
And then maybe I'm enabling, or I don't want to be too harsh, because then, you know, it might lead to that estrangement that I want to avoid.
Yeah.
So I always tell parents, ask yourself 3 questions when you're deciding what's the best approach. One is, am I acting and making a decision here based on love and not fear, anger, guilt, frustration, resentment, those types of things? The second question is, am I making this decision or taking this action in line with my principles, like telling the truth, keeping your promises, being responsible, those types of things?
Yeah.
And the third question is the decision I'm making or the action I'm taking likely to increase their independence rather than increase their dependence?
Okay.
So case in point would be, okay, your young adult says, hey, you know, I really want to have a car. Can you buy me a car?
Yeah.
And, you know, this is an affluent community here in Rochester. So people have the money. Just because you have the money doesn't mean it's the right thing to do.
I think it's almost harder sometimes when you do have the money.
Oh, absolutely.
Because then the kid's like, well, but we can afford it, you know?
Oh, absolutely. But you lose the opportunity of the teaching moment there.
Yes.
To teach them to be responsible. So you say, okay, you save up. You get a job, save up, I'll match you. And you can buy a car, but you have to have skin in the game there.
Right.
So I think it's a way of saying loving, I'm here for you, I'm supportive, but I'm not going to go the full way. You have to step up.
Right.
You have to show me that you're invested in this process.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, an example of
It's a great example. You know, like you said, just those questions of, I'm doing this in love, this is increasing their independence.
Yeah.
Where if I just bought the whole thing, I mean, how does that, you're going to be dependent on your parents then. And that's not a good life skill.
No, and I think parents have to think about every opportunity where there's an action or decision to be made is an opportunity for a teachable moment. Can I teach them something here? I can just give them the money, but what does that do? Can I teach them something here by saying, no, you're going to have to step up. You know, you want to drive the car tonight, but there's no gas. Well, you're going to have to figure out how to put gas in there.
Yeah.
Well, that must mean you might need to get a job or something. That's a teachable opportunity.
Yes. So I had, my middle one was kind of a stinker this way, and I was very much, you know, the same, like, you know, you need to bring some things to the table. So he would try to say, and I said, you had to pay for your own gas. We'll do your insurance, you do the gas, and we met kind of halfway on the car itself. And then he would say, well, you need to pay for my gas driving to school. And well, no, you're paying for your gas. Well, then I'm not going to school. I'm like, you little stinker. You know, he would try every little way to squeeze a dime out of you. So there's some creative children out there that, but I think what you said earlier about no isn't a 4-letter word, and to remember that no, my intention is love. I can say no and in love. And again, what's that end goal, you know?
Yeah.
And so those
and you got to stick
ones.
to your guns. You have to stand up for what you believe here.
Yeah.
And that teaches them something. They have, in order for them to launch, they have to bump up against something firm there. Otherwise, if you cave in and give in to everything, why would I need to change?
Right.
Why do I have to step up? You're going to do everything, right? So
clearly you're going to do it for me, so I'll just do this. And I think a big fear of ours in saying no is that we'll create that estrangement, or that will, you know. And so, what would you have to say to that portion of it?
Well, that's where I think you have to say, you know, I love you. You know, I know this is hard for you. It's hard for me too to see you, you know, that you're unhappy or you're frustrated. But I'm trying to do the best thing for you here, and it's done out of love. And I think it's important for you to understand that. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's so good. It's such good information. And like we were visiting earlier, there's a lot of parenting books for when they're young, but there's
Right.
not a lot for this adult age. And so
Yeah.
where can we get in touch with you? Where can we get your book?
Yeah, this is it's called the Parents Launch Code: Loving and Letting Go of Our Adult Children. So it's putting the love and letting go together. It's on Amazon, so it's
Okay.
available on Amazon. You can buy the paperback or you can download it for $2.99.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, and my website is parentslettinggo.com. So you can get in touch with me there.
Okay.
I do counseling all over the state because I do it
Okay.
virtually.
Oh,
So I've
nice.
had some clients from Rochester, International Falls. You know, they never come to my office, but I can do this virtually. So I'm available for parents who are struggling with either estrangement or a stalled young adult situation. So
Oh, that is great, because sometimes we need somebody to tell us, give us some outside perspective
Yeah.
here on what is going on. Thank you so much, Dr. Jack. It's just a pleasure to get to visit
Yeah,
with you and to
thank
get
you.
this information out. Yeah, thank you as well.
thank you.
All right, we'll be back with more Midwest Access after this.